English proficiently will be put out of service.
Amid heightened traffic safety and immigration control measures in the United States, a surprise raid operation by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency led to the arrest and deportation of thousands of truck drivers who failed to meet English proficiency requirements. Stemming from strengthened federal regulations, this event not only impacts the trucking industry, the backbone of the U.S. economy, but also causes chaos on national highways, with numerous shipments delayed and a severe labor shortage. The campaign continues to expand, emphasizing the protection of U.S. highways from risks posed by language barriers. The U.S. trucking industry, with over 3.5 million professional drivers, plays a critical role in transporting more than 70% of domestic goods, from food to consumer products. However, the federal regulation requiring English proficiency for commercial truck drivers has long been in place under the Code of Federal Regulations to ensure they can read traffic signs, communicate with authorities, and handle emergencies. Under the current administration, these regulations are being enforced more stringently than ever, leading to direct intervention by ICE targeting drivers who are illegal immigrants or violate immigration status. According to reports from the U.S. Department of Transportation, thousands of drivers have been inspected at traffic checkpoints and weigh stations, where they must demonstrate basic English reading, writing, and speaking skills. Those who fail are immediately placed out of service, face license revocation, and, if undocumented, are transferred to ICE for deportation proceedings. The campaign has particularly focused on border regions and states with high numbers of immigrant drivers, such as Texas, California, and Florida. ICE, in coordination with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and local agencies, conducted random and targeted inspections, resulting in striking figures. Over 1,200 drivers were removed from the roads this year alone for lacking English proficiency, with thousands of these cases involving immigrants who were deported. These drivers primarily come from Mexico, India, China, and Latin American countries where English is not the primary language. License revocation not only ends their trucking careers, but also triggers immigration proceedings, with ICE using FMCSA inspection data to verify residency status. Experts estimate that at least 2,500 drivers have been deported so far, mostly after losing their licenses, creating a storm in the trucking industry, where labor shortages are already a persistent issue. From a neutral perspective, this policy brings clear benefits to traffic safety. Accidents involving drivers lacking English proficiency have risen in recent years, with a notable case in Florida where an undocumented driver caused a fatal crash due to misunderstanding traffic instructions. Authorities argue that enforcing the regulation saves lives and reduces medical costs and economic damage from major collisions. The U.S. Department of Justice emphasizes that ICE targets only lawbreakers, and legal drivers are supported through free English training programs funded by the Department of Transportation. However, labor and immigration rights groups, such as the American Civil Liberties Union and United Farm Workers, criticize the campaign for potentially leading to discrimination, disproportionately affecting immigrant communities that significantly contribute to the economy through manual labor. They argue that, instead of mass deportations, the U.S. should invest in language education to retain essential workers. The latest developments show the campaign intensifying at the state level. In Texas, authorities have adopted a zero-tolerance policy for English proficiency checks, leading to hundreds of license revocations and transfers to ICE in recent weeks. This has disrupted supply chains, with some trucking companies halting operations due to a lack of replacement drivers. In Florida, a proposed bill requiring legal residency and English proficiency for all commercial driver's license applicants could lead to hundreds more deportations if passed. Meanwhile, states like California and Washington face the risk of losing millions in federal funding for not enforcing the regulations strictly, forcing them to weigh budget concerns against labor rights. ICE has also expanded cooperation with major trucking companies, requiring periodic immigration status checks for employees, resulting in additional firings and deportations at major ports like Los Angeles and Houston. Economically, the consequences of this campaign are profound and multifaceted. The trucking industry, already short approximately 80,000 drivers annually, now faces an even larger labor gap, pushing freight costs up by 15 to 20% in some regions. Small businesses, reliant on affordable immigrant drivers, report losses in the millions, while American consumers may see rising goods prices. However, policy supporters argue that long-term benefits, such as fewer accidents and enhanced border security, will outweigh these costs. ICE emphasizes that deportations not only address language issues, but also curb immigration-related crimes, such as smuggling via trucks. Concurrently, support programs like online English classes and temporary visas for drivers have been expanded, helping some avoid deportation by quickly improving skills. Socially, this event reflects tensions between economic needs and national security in the U.S. Immigrant communities, especially in border states, express concerns about family separations and job losses, while rural residents, reliant on trucking, welcome the safety measures. Experts from the Migration Policy Institute note that, while effective in the short term, the policy needs adjustments to avoid negative impacts on the workforce, potentially through more comprehensive training programs. Politically, the campaign is praised by conservatives as part of the Make America Safe Again effort, while progressives call for comprehensive immigration reform to protect legitimate workers. ICE is considering expanding checks to further inland routes, with the Federal Bureau of Investigation involved in cases of suspected criminal activity. Some states have begun deploying mobile language testing stations, leading to hundreds more drivers being removed from service. Meanwhile, non-governmental organizations are providing legal aid to affected drivers, helping some successfully appeal and avoid deportation.